Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever and whenever you are. My name is Benjamin, and welcome to a Let's Pixel video. And it's been a while since I've done one of these. I'm pretty excited for it. We're going to be using a program called GraphicsGel. So I'll show you how you can download that and get it set up to how I like to use it. You can set it up however you want to, but I'll show you kind of the setup that I've been using and that I like. We'll create the character, and then I'll have a part 2 that I'll upload soon after where we actually animate the character, and this will be a character for a platform game. Real quick, I just wanted to mention two things. Number one, I'm writing a book about GameMaker. You might already know that if you watch some of my other videos. If you want to check that out, there's a link in the description. Number 2, did I say number 1 the first time? I don't even remember. Number 2 is I've teamed up with Blendsoft, just a small little indie game development company. They created a game a little while ago called Delta 1, and we're actually going to be selling this game. It's a game where you play as a little mouse assassin agent, secret agent guy, and let me tell you, the game's actually pretty fun. So we're putting it on itch.io, and there'll be a link in the description as well. And it's a pay what you want. So if you want the game for a penny, go ahead and pay a penny and you get the game. It's not a super long game, but it's really, really fun. It's one of my favorite little indie games. That's why I contacted the creator and asked him if he'd like to partner up with me on it. So we're just doing pay what you want, and you can go check that out. I'll put a link in the description for that as well. Let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is you'll need to download GraphicsGel, and it's actually a free program. It's a little bit, the UI isn't super nice, and there are a couple things about it that are a little bit odd when you first get started, but it's free. So if you just Google GraphicsGel, you'll see humanbalance.net. You can click on that and you can go to download and just get the free edition. The only additional functionality you get in the paid edition really is saving and loading GIF files. You can do, like, there's a couple things with cursors and icons and stuff as well for the paid version. Paid version I think is around $18 in American dollars. So I got the paid version just because I want to be able to save and load GIFs, but you honestly don't need to do that. So once you've downloaded it and installed it, come up here to File and go to Preferences, and I set a bunch of hotkeys. The first one I set is Frame Duplicate, and I set that as C. And then I set Tool Rectangular Selection as S. I set the pen as P. I set File New, well, that one's already set, I think. The new save and stuff for files. Undo, and those are all set already. Let's see what's, oh, for zoom in, if you go to view, zoom in, I set it to Q, and view, zoom in, or zoom out, I set it to A, so I can just hit Q and A to zoom in and out. And let's see, there's some that are already there, but I don't really use those ones. Yeah, I think that's all. The important ones are zoom in and zoom out, frame duplicate, the selection, and the pen. Actually, one that I do want to add in is the flood fill. I think I want to do this one as F. Okay, so once you've got those set up, let's see. Let's create a new image. And let's do this image as 64 wide and 96. Well, that's going to be, let's do 64 by 64. I'm just going to leave it on 24-bit full color. You can see it's a tiny little image here, so we're going to maximize this. And then you start out on the zoom tool, but we can also use Q. I'm just hitting Q to zoom in here, and A to zoom out a little. First thing we're going to do is we're going to fill it with a gray color. So come over here, I'm going to drag this over to create kind of a gray color. That is not a gray color. Let's set all of these. Here we go. Switch this from red, green, blue to hue, saturation. Oh, hue, saturation, value right here. And set the saturation to 0. There we go. So we've got hue, saturation, value. Set the saturation to 0, and then your value will control how dark this gray is. So we're going to create a platform character, and he's kind of going to be, we're not going to do a direct profile. He's kind of actually going to be looking slightly at the players. This is kind of what Mario does. In fact, if you look at a Mario game, Mario sprites, you can see that he's actually kind of not, he's kind of looking at you. Even in the older ones, he's not perfectly sideways. He's kind of looking at us a little bit. So that helps to give the character, it just looks a little better, honestly. So let's zoom in a little bit more. Let's select a color. I'm going to select this green color. I'm going to lower the saturation a little bit. Well, let's do kind of more of a orange color, actually. Lower the saturation down. This brown color will look good. And press P to switch to our pen. And we need this to be a little darker so we can see it over the gray. Now we're going to start loosely sketching out, and that's going to be probably too big. We're going to start loosely sketching out our character here. Actually, let's undo that with Control Z. Zoom out one more so we can see our whole thing. First thing I'm going to do is draw a head. So let's imagine that our head's about here. And if you can't draw a circle, join the club. One of the things I like about graphic scale is when you right click, it switches to the color that you are under. So we can kind of right click on our gray and erase some of that. Right click on the brown again, start filling in again. So that's kind of a really nice thing about graphic scale. In GameMaker you use Control, but right clicking works too. So now that we have the head, I'm going to do kind of like more of just like a square for the torso. I find that you can often do that. And let's have yeah, I should be using my fill hotkey that I set. Okay, so we've got this character. And let's take our brown and let's make a slightly grayer version. So just drag the saturation. And we're going to use this for the the it might lighten it just a little too, actually. We're going to use this for the back arm of our character. And we're going to have that come down a little bit and then come out a little bit, kind of like this. Don't be afraid of it looking messy right now. That's not the most important thing. Let's draw, we'll use this for our leg too, the back leg. Let's have it come out, kind of come down like this. And I'm going to give him some sort of shoe, kind of like that. Let's use our selection, and I'm actually going to make him just 1 pixel thinner. And then we'll fill this in again. Now, so I like this little preview here too, but I like if you right click on it, you can make it a little bigger so it's not quite so tiny. And I also like to put it on the side of my colors up here, because I've got plenty of real estate here on my screen, so I like it right there. Let's do a little bit darker of a brown and bring the saturation up, and this is going to be for our limbs that are kind of in the front. And we'll have this arm come out like this and kind of down and forward like this. So the character feels a little bit off balance right now. If you'll notice, it feels like he's kind of fallen over backwards. So let's make him lean forwards a little bit by dragging his torso forwards. And let's do it this way. Let's drag this down a little bit more. Feels a little bit better. I don't need to worry too much about this. Starting to look a little better. Let's add some details to the head. I'm going to make a darker brown kind of for the hair. I'm just going to do kind of crazier hair. Like this. Kind of like that actually. So we're looking pretty good now. Let's give him some eyes. Maybe a nose. Maybe his nose is actually darker. I don't think I'm going to give him a mouth or a nose for now, actually. Just leave the eyes, and those are too high, I think. Let me lower those. He needs more of a forehead. He actually needs more of a neck. And it's looking a little better. Okay. Now, we're going to plan ahead a little bit here because we're going to eventually end up animating this character. So one of the things we're going to do is we're going to separate these into different layers. So we're going to use this magic wand up here. You can just select the right leg. And we're going to come over here. This is where our layers are. And let's actually where's the I might just have copied these. Ah, there we go. Huh. So you select it. I'm going to press Control X to actually get rid of it. And then up here you can see there's a new layer button. Just click that and we'll call this front leg. Except I forgot the T on front, but that's okay. You can do properties, front leg. And we'll do Control V. And oops, that is the wrong layer. You can undo that. Also, I forgot to tell you, when you have something selected, you right click to have it not selected. Okay, Control V and right click. It's not selected. Now we have that on the right layer. If we click this little smiley face, we can hide our other layer. And you can see that works. Now what we need to do is get our little wand again, select this leg, we're on the wrong layer, get the little wand, select the back leg, Control X, and we'll do a new layer, back leg, and then click on that new layer, Control V, right click, now click on our main layer again, do the wand, select the front arm, Control X, new layer, and we're going to call this front arm, Control V, right click, click on our, click on the back layer again, do our wand, click on the arm, Control X, new layer, back arm, okay, Control V, right click, click on our main layer again. This time I'm just going to use the selection tool and select the head, Control C, right click, new layer, head, Control V, right click, and then last of all, we're going to come back, we're going to hide all our other layers, so click the little smiley face on all of them. We're back to this layer. Looks like we might have the head on twice, that's okay. We're going to select this, and dang it, undo, I accidentally deleted the head. Okay, hide all the layers. Make sure you're selected the main layer. Delete the head from here. Do our pen tool, and we're gonna draw the torso in like the legs aren't there. And grab our wand, select the torso, and we're gonna add a new layer. Call it body. Paste this onto it. Right click. This is our original layer. We're just gonna call it background. And we're actually going to do our fill tool and fill our background. Now we can show all of our layers again. But we want to make sure and drag the body down. That doesn't sound good. Drag the body. Drag it down so we've got the background first, then the body, and we've got front leg. We should have front arm. Front arm should actually be in front of front leg, so swap those two. You can just drag the layers around. So we've got background, body, front arm, front leg, back arm, back leg, and head actually should be before the back arm and back leg. Did I do that right? Let's see. This is the very back. This is next. Oh yeah, I did that wrong. We want front arm to be the very top. And front leg to be under that. Okay, we're good. Background, body, back arm, back leg, head, front leg, front arm. Now what we're going to do is we're going to select the front arm and we're going to give our character some character. So he's not just bland like this. So let's select a color. I'm going to do green because I just picked green, honestly. And I'm going to select our pen and make this kind of a darker green. I'm going to start drawing his sleeves. And I'm not going to do too much detail on this character. I'm going to make a slightly darker color of green and maybe drag it a little bit more into the blue and switch to the torso or the body. Start coloring here. And I'm actually going to hide the front arm so that's not in the way. And draw this color. And we need a color for his pants. I'm going to do a gray color actually. I'm going to drag the opacity clear down. Come up with kind of a lighter gray color. Let's do the pen here. Let's hide his leg too. Front leg should be hidden. I might make this a little darker actually. Yeah, that's better. No, it needs to be darker. Can't be the same value as the shirt or it won't look right. Okay, that's looking good. Let's do the back arm now. Let's go to the back arm. And I'm going to make this, I'm going to lower the saturation on this and make it just a little bit lighter. And I right click this, the shirt color. So this is the shirt color. Let's hide the torso and make the arm more complete. And you can see that the back arm actually should be behind the torso, which makes sense, and so should the back leg. Okay. Let's right click on this gray color, lighten it a little bit, and that's going to be our back leg color. Let's hide the torso. Create our back leg. This is the jean color for the back leg. I'm just going to do a really dark gray for the boot, but it won't be black. We're going to save that for the front boot. Okay, let's bring our torso back and bring our front leg back. For the front leg, I'm going to do slightly darker gray. I'm not selected on the front leg layer. Okay, make sure you're on the front leg layer when you draw. If you start drawing, it doesn't look like it's drawing. You just want to make sure you're drawing on the right layer. It's really easy to start drawing on the wrong layer. Let's do, I'm going to do almost black for this boot. Like that. Actually going to bring it up and bring it out just a little too. I did that on the front leg. See? Drawn on the wrong layer. You got to be careful. You can actually draw all this stuff and then switch and then take everything in the layers. Might be smarter to do it that way. I don't know. You can do it however you want. Back leg. Okay, that's good enough. Let's see. My back leg is the wrong color though. Way too light. We want it to be light, but not that light. That looks pretty good. Okay. Switch back to the front leg. Add a little bit more to that there. Looking good. Switch to the back arm. And add in our front arm. Okay, one more thing is on the front arm, I'm actually going to add a sword. So let's grab the connect line tool, I think. Let's see what this does. Let me get a dark color. I'll actually grab okay, that tool is weird. You have to right click to undo it from connecting everything. It's a little weird. It works though. Okay, let's bring this up here. It's actually kind of nice, actually. So you kind of get used to it. That is going to, oops. That is going to give us a bad trajectory. Okay, let's try that. We'll get a nice light silver color. There's a nice sword. Switch back to the pen. This sword is too hard to see. Let's make it a little darker, and then we'll get a light color again, and we'll grab our pen. And grab this dark color. Grab that weird line tool again. That line tool is tricky to use. Okay, right click on this. I'm gonna make this a little bit lighter. Let's make it way lighter. Not way lighter, but lighter than that. That's looking pretty good. It irritates me that this sword is at such a bad angle. Let's delete it. I don't care if it turns into a knife. We can't keep it at that angle. Okay, let's grab a pen again, and we're gonna do this one more time. Only I'm gonna keep this. Well, let's do a two-step. So for every one down, you do two over. That is not a good color, though. There we go, that's a little better. Now we'll do our pen again. And this time we can draw little boxes across. Same thing, every one down is 2 over. And this keeps it just makes it look nicer. So we don't have this weird except we need to do the same thing with this, except I think for every one down we need to do it the opposite. We need to go 2 down. And then we'll make it thicker. Okay, that's looking pretty good for our sword. Our character's hair needs to be darker. Let's go to the head. Also, if you hide the background, you'll notice we have gray stuff that we need to get rid of. So right click on the white and we can fill. We have it on some other things too, like our it looks like we have most of it on our front arm. Some we need to get rid of. And then on our legs, back leg, front leg. See, might be better to keep this all on one layer at first. Let's bring our background back. I'm going to give him, let's hide the background again. I'm going to give him some white in his eyes. Except we need to make sure we do it on the head. Huh. Do some crazy stuff. Add a little bit of shading there. I'm going to switch back to our back arm. Let's see, back arm right here. And I want to bring this out a little more. Actually, in our back arm, another thing we could do is add a shield in here. Like that. I'm going to make it the same tone as the front leg, I think. Get rid of that speck. Add another one there. Okay. Sweet. Now, our character is basically done. This is a basic platform character, and in the next video, I'm going to animate him. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this Let's Pixel video that kind of showed some of the new stuff with graphics Gale. This isn't really super exciting because we're not into animating yet, but the part where I feel that graphics Gale is really powerful or really useful is when you do some animation. So thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you guys later.